describe your argument of why Judith Miller, formerly of the New York Times, and Matthew Cooper, formerly of Time Magazine, should be exempt from testifying before a grand jury?
Well, let me say it was not my most successful argument, as reflected in the fact that Judith Miller spent 88 days in prison after I made the argument. But you can't win them all. The argument is the public can't learn certain things unless promises of confidentiality by journalists can be made and kept, because there are certain matters, whistleblower-like matters, other matters of high importance, which people will only reveal if they can be promised, and they believe the promise, that no one will tell. We have a shield law here in New York. Most states have shield laws. Shield laws meaning just that, to shield journalists against having to reveal confidential sources when they're engaged in news gathering. We don't have a federal shield law when it's the United States government or someone in federal court. And the reason that the cases involving Judith Miller came out the way it did was that there was, just as there still is, no federal protection as such, apart from whatever protection the First Amendment gives. And in the grand jury context, so far, there hasn't been much protection in that area. Now, there's a case right now, as we meet, in the Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, which is Maryland and states around there, in which a judge did find that in the context of a leak investigation, that a journalist could refuse to reveal the name of the person or information about the person who provided him with information. That's on appeal now, and we'll see how that goes. But certainly, as a general proposition, the notion that journalists require protection of a significant level to enable them to do their work is the one that I believe in very strongly. One of the articles in my book was an op-ed piece I did in the Los Angeles Times right around the time that Judith Miller had to go to jail, in which I pointed out that notwithstanding that the United States gives so much more protection to free speech than has ever been true in any other country, in this area, confidential sources, it's not true. That there's more protection in Europe, that there's more protection in Japan, that there's more protection in Mozambique. Of course, the LA Times put the headline over my article, even in Mozambique. But the reality is, we do give protection by state law, but it still winds up as less protection than most nations provide to their journalists.